Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of How to Improve Anthem, a series where I give you my suggestions and opinions on BioWare's newest game. But before I start, here's a short disclaimer. I think that Anthem presents a great opportunity to bring a whole slew of new features and mechanics into the looter-shooter genre. It is one of the most badass feeling online co-op games I've ever played. So I want to say that all my thoughts and ideas are to try to improve Anthem and make it the best it can be. Alright freelancers, let's suit up. Hello everyone, welcome to our 4th episode of How to Improve Anthem. Today I'm going to talk about 9 improvements to help enhance the flow of the game. I'm going to stay away from bugs and glitches like rubber banding or the 95% glitch, because the game was much better in the open demo. Instead, these are going to be gameplay improvements to help you feel good in Anthem. This is actually my 4th episode this week, so if you haven't seen the others, I'd check them out. Now, let's get into the list. The first improvement I'd like to see is being able to launch straight into flight from the ground. I've already posted this on Reddit, but thought I'd be able to explain it better now with more gameplay knowledge. So initially I posted that holding the jump button would suffice, but I was wrong. I didn't know that each of the javelins jump worked so differently, and that holding jump already did offer some level of aerial control. So instead, the R3 button, the one that makes you hover in the air but does nothing on the ground, would make sense for launching. And if R3 is too easy to accidentally hit during gameplay, having to hold it for a moment or maybe pressing both sticks could control it. This would offer players a faster way to go straight into escape mode when the situation gets dicey. It's not that the current system is bad, but it could be better. Even after really getting used to the controls, I still think the ability to go straight into flight would be really useful. Plus, I just want to see how cool the animation would look, especially after sprinting. Since I'm already on the topic of flight, another way for this mechanic to become buttery smooth for us players is to allow flight startup in any direction. Right now, whenever you engage flight, the direction of the camera controls the direction you fly, regardless of anything else. Instead, flying should start based on whatever direction you're moving, so holding backwards would make you fly backwards, left would fly left, and right. Doing this would just give players a new level of control, especially in tough spots. To be honest, I don't know why this hasn't been in the game from the start. For my third idea and final improvement on the movement system of Anthem, the swimming could be so much more. I know this is a complaint that we've all heard, especially from people on PC, but control issues aside, I think the gameplay really needs to be cleaned up, and an easy way to start this is to allow players to disengage their thrusters underwater to sink. Although animation wise it might look cooler if our jets don't completely turn off, players should have the ability to slowly sink and run at the bottom. The feeling of running on the floor of a large body of water would be amazing. Adding something like this would give BioWare the possibility to add underwater combat in the future. I think that not only would this be a really cool addition, but it would help players maneuver and set the foundation for so much more.
I hate it when they do that. What do we do now?
Gather the fragments and silence the red.
Alright, so the fourth improvement is that all javelins should be able to reload while sprinting. It makes no sense that all of these ultra advanced war machines can fly, jump, and hover while reloading, but sprinting is where the line is drawn. When I got into combat for the first time in the VIP demo, it disappointed me a little to find out that sprinting was the thing that cancelled my reload the last 5 times. Even as I got more experience, the need to reload became glaring as some of the reloads are brutal, especially the Colossus heavy weapons. Now, back to jumping. The Interceptor's jump is crazy, so why can they do that, but not sprint? The only reason I could think is that it's for balancing issues, but it seems to be hurting more than helping. Okay, so for my 5th topic, I think that gunplay in general could use some tweaks just to feel better. Right now, a lot of weapons don't feel too meaty or punchy, but weapon balancing is hard for me to see exactly where the problem is. It has too many gears turning, too many numbers going. It's obvious that BioWare has put a big emphasis on the abilities and combo system as far as combat goes, which has left gunplay feeling left behind. Here are a couple of minor tweaks that could help improve combat. First, I think that critical hits or headshots should feel better, whether it's more audio, better enemy feedback, or a more significantly different death upon getting killed by a headshot or critical hit. I'm unsure. I know that Destiny did a great job making their gunplay feel good, even against the more difficult enemies, which is why I believe it's important to mention Destiny, because in that game, enemies almost never felt too spongy, which is how they feel in Anthem at times. Another way to make gunplay feel a little better would be with better audio in general, and making sure that the audio never cuts out. Whether this is better weapon or enemy audio, a little more would just be better. And finally, the last way to improve gunplay, which actually bothered me as of late, would be to give enemies better reactions to being shot and to what they do after. It's so annoying when I'm just unloading a clip into an enemy and they finish reloading, then just return fire, all while eating a hail of bullets. I'm not sure if all these changes would be a cure or just a remedy to gunplay, but I'd really like to know how others think gunplay could be improved, because I know it needs to. Well, my sixth improvement would just have to be the camera when you get downed. I just have to mention it because right now it's awful. The screen gets dark, the audio goes quiet, and you can't do anything. We should definitely be able to switch to our teammates' camera view. That way there's at least something to do while we can't play. The way it is now really takes me out of the game and breaks my immersion, and this is just a smaller, fairly necessary change, and I hope to see it sooner rather than later. Next, the seventh way to improve Anthem is to add more varied ways to gather resources. When I started playing Anthem, I noticed these challenges popping up randomly when I was playing. After a little investigation, I learned that completing these challenges unlocks blueprints to craft in the Forge, which is when I noticed the whole crafting system that exists behind the scenes. But then, after another half hour or so of playing, I noticed the only way to get crafting materials is by salvaging, interacting with stuff, and as standard loot. It's important that more resources and more types of crafting components are introduced in my opinion. Killing certain enemies could have a chance of dropping a component, destroying stuff could drop resources, or there could be extra tasks like mining or even fishing. It might be hard to see how setting up a deep and interesting crafting system is good for the game, but many other live service games depend on systems like these. I firmly believe that if BioWare manages to set up a fair, fun crafting system, it would open the door for them to offer more significant things to become craftable in the future, like javelins. Yeah, that's right, I think that javelins could become craftable. It just depends if BioWare managed to set up a crafting system complex enough to be worth grinding. It would give them a possible route for players to earn their new suits rather than paying for them. Although this may seem like a minor topic, it could be crucial in paving a way for Anthem's future. So the last improvements are about the end of the stronghold, specifically after you've defeated the boss. First, once you and your fellow freelancers have finally fought the spider to the end, it should give your squad some more breathing time to enjoy the glory. Right now, the game boots you back to the lobby way too fast and doesn't really let that moment of triumph sink in. And finally, for my last improvement, I think the final boss should really drop some sort of physical loot after dying. Whether that be a chest or a loot drop, it doesn't really matter. Anything is better than nothing. The way it is now, it feels more like the postmaster has delivered your items than you've received your victory loot. But those are just some smaller changes to the end of a stronghold to help put a bow on it. Those are all 9 of my adjustments for Anthem that would improve your overall experience while playing. Thanks for watching. I'll probably wait until after the demo to make another video, but I think my next episodes are going to be about the melee system and all the work it needs, and then either about dogfighting or weapon customization. If you like what you've heard, or those topics sound interesting, then please leave a like and subscribe.